this 3-day boot camp video, I'm going to show you 3 exercises that you can do basically every day. They shouldn't take you any longer than maybe 5 to 6 or 7, maybe 8 minutes, depending on how fast you go. And if you do these exercises for 3 days consecutively, so like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, then by Thursday, you're gonna be able to do things you couldn't do before you started these exercises. And I'm talking about fret difficult chords, or be able to have some kind, play some kind of cool licks, or whatever. And you're gonna be able to do that because you're gonna have the strength in your hands and fingers to be able to execute those licks and those chords. So here's the very first exercise. It just goes like this, all right? We're going to give each finger 1 fret, okay? And this is all going to be ascending on the first part. In other words, you're going to be going up the fretboard, but we're only going to be going on these frets. So, and when I say ascending, I mean like, right? Okay, so we're going to do all down and up strokes, okay? Down and up. And then what we're going to do is, when we get up here to the top, we're going to actually descend, and again, just all down and up strokes with your right hand. And what you want to listen for is a clear, distinct tone. In other words, you don't want any dead notes. So if I went like, right, that would be a dead note. You want to try to avoid that if you can. So let's just go for it. I'll play it for you once, and then we'll just talk about it a little bit. So the first exercise that you want to do, this is the first of those 3 exercises, goes like this. Okay. And I've given you the tab for this as well, so that's why I'm kind of going a little bit fast here. But what you want to do is listen for that clean tone, and the other part of it is you want to make sure that there aren't any loose strings. So in other words, if you went like, hear how I'm kind of letting those other strings kind of ring out? You don't want that. And what you're doing is you're actually, and what I'm doing, when I get up to here, when I switch over to this next string, I'm kind of holding this down until I play this next note. And then when I do play it, what I'm doing is I'm allowing the tip of my finger, when I'm playing on this 5th string, to touch the 6th string, which mutes it. Okay, so if I go, I'm actually muting the 6th string here, this bottom big string. I'm muting that with the top part of my finger there. So that's a little tip for you. So, and then I'm doing that every time I change strings, okay? And then the other part is, I'm kind of allowing the back part of my hand to mute the bottom strings, in other words, the 6th and the 5th, as I move up. So as I'm going like, right now, if you were to take your camera and put it like right here, you would see that the back of my hand is actually muting that 6th string. Okay, so that's the first exercise. It's just, okay, and that's teaching your fingers how to ascend and then how to descend. And then what you can do is just move that up a fret. And then just keep going, so on and so forth, all right? And you can go all the way up and then all the way back down the fretboard. Now, the second exercise. The second one is actually going to be in a 6/8 time signature. So there's going to be 6 beats per measure, and an 8th note's going to get 1 beat. So it's 6/8 would be very common in, like, let's say just like a blues tune, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so that would be kind of like this meter that we're talking about here is a 6/8 time signature. So each string is going to have 3 notes on it, okay? In the same concept, we're going to ascend, okay? and we're going to descend. So the first one's, or the second one's going to go like this. Then we're going to slide up to the 5th fret, and then we're going to come down, and it's going to be a descending pattern, but it's going to be the 5th, 3rd, and 2nd fret, okay, and we're going to skip over the 4th. So in this one, we're only using our 1st finger, 2nd finger, and our 4th finger. Okay, so let me just play it all the way through once. I think that'll be more helpful for you. Here we go. Okay, so we ascended with this 3-note ascending pattern with our 1st, 3rd, and 4th fingers. Sorry. Then we slide it up and we descend with our 1st, 2nd, and 4th finger. Now, about that 6/8 time signature, what you want to do is try to emphasize the first beat of each group of 3. So you would go like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, now, you might be like, man, that sounds kind of tedious and kind of boring, but you know what? It's going to help you, and there's a method to my madness here. The reason I've given you that particular exercise is because this pattern with the 1st, 3rd, and 4th finger appears all the time in your minor scale and in your major scale. So as you're practicing this, you're going to be, just kind of ingraining that into your playing. And the same thing with this descending pattern. That with, adjacent frets, skipping a fret, and then the next one is a common pattern in your major and minor scale as well. So what I'm doing is I'm kind of, as you're doing the finger exercises, in addition, you're kind of learning bits and pieces of the major and minor scale here. All right, so the 3rd exercise, here we go. This is actually going to be a little bit different, and it's definitely the most difficult of the 3, okay? And I'm going to give you an alternate way of playing it in case you find it a little bit difficult. But let me just play it for you first, okay? So it's going to go like this. I'll play it really slowly. Okay, and it just keeps going on and on. You can go all the way up if you want, and then bring it all the way back down. So what I'm doing here is I'm only plucking, or I'm only picking each string one time. So I'm just going like, okay, and then, so what I'm doing is I'm hammering on. So this exercise is going to help with your hammer-ons and your pull-offs. And if you already know the pentatonic minor scale, you'll recognize that this is the first position of the pentatonic minor scale. So that, again, the whole method to my madness thing is you're learning the different scales as we learn these exercises. So this is all tied together here. Okay, so we've got... So the first part of it is you're hammering on all the way up, then just one stroke on the right hand on each one of these, and then when you slide up, you're going to be pulling off on each one. Now, if you don't have the finger strength yet to do these hammer-ons and pull-offs, because it does take a lot of finger strength, otherwise, especially when you're first starting, you might get like this kind of sound. Like, dude, when I'm doing it, nothing's happening. Like that. Well, it takes some strength, okay, to make this work. Okay, so here's an alternate thing you can do until you kind of build up to that hammer-on. You can just pick it. Just pick each one. Okay? Now, I'll give you a tip, and that is that pulling off is generally more easy than hammering on. So you might be able to do like a hybrid of that. So you might go like, let's see, pick it up and then pull off going down. So you might go like, so on and so forth. But those are the 3 exercises that I would recommend that you do for, 5 to maybe 6, 7, 8, 10 minutes a day, and then do those consecutively for, and faithfully for 3 days. And then I think you're going to be amazed. And then you can just keep on going with it, and you can speed it up, and you can even get more creative with it, and you can make up your own finger exercises. So take those 3 and see what you can do with them. And thanks for watching this video. And if you enjoyed it, please tell me what you think by leaving your comment below.